Hey, hold on. I'm trying to get everything situated again. I'm on my phone now. I guess the stream here just can't... The internet connection here can't handle it. So, now I'm just on a phone streaming. But I got the chat up on the laptop, so... You all seeing me okay, or... What the hell? Oh my god, what is with this stupid thing? Well, I'm perfectly content with the IT. I'm just resetting it because I was using my friend's internet connection and it's a bit slow. So I'm trying to get the laptop to see my stream now. Yeah. Okay, so now we should be okay. I mean, it's a horrible visual, but whatever. Hey, Tay, Otto just got rearrested because he had a warrant out of Texas because he missed court in Texas because he was in jail in another state. So it's just all screwed up. Why is my attendance dropping? Man, that's a horrible visual. Yeah, I know. Everybody's streams are popping up, whatever. I just figured I was trying out. Oh, Rogue Nation too. I was testing my friend. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm crashing on my friend's couch right now, and I was trying out streaming on his line and seeing how that would work out, but his line couldn't handle it, so now I'm streaming from my phone. I'm still working on just getting my living situation sorted out. Hey, Patrol. Chi-Town Citizen made a good point over in Not Now Maybe Later's stream that, focus on clearing cases. Everybody should do that. Get all your cases settled before going out and doing anything else. Animals, because live streams by default are monetized. Well, in this case, Chi-Town, it's the jail's fault that he missed court in Texas, because when you're in jail, it's up to the jail, to the sheriff, to make sure you make all your court dates. So, I mean, I had that happen to me where I was in county and I missed court in a local, the town, one town over, and they all of a sudden they issued a $20,000 bail on me because I missed court. But luckily, I got it thrown out because I could prove I was in jail. So as soon as I proved to the judge I was in jail, he threw it out. I mean, I could understand. Yeah, like if you're out on bond 2 or 3 or 4 bonds, don't go out. Don't do anything until you get that sorted out. Because eventually you're gonna get a bondsman that just says no. I mean, they're not always gonna just bond you out because you got money. They have the right to say no. And if a bondsman sees that you're already out on 2 or 3 bond, and all of a sudden you're arrested again, whether it's right or wrong, even if you got proof that you were in the right, the fact is you still have to deal with that in court no matter what. So if you're already out on bond, the bondsman may just revoke that bond. He may say, this guy's too much. It's too much of a risk. I'm not going to bond him out. So the best thing to do is clear your cases before you. I kept telling Carolina and Fort Worth that. I said, clear your cases before you go out. Take care of any case you have. If you want to be live, go do live streams talking about your existing cases. Talk about how you're going to fight them or whatever. But don't go out and get arrested again. Because all it takes is that one bondsman that says, no, it's not worth the risk. And then, they'll call, because all the bondsmen talk. So they'll just call each other and say, hey, if this guy's family comes in, don't bond him out. Well, you know what I mean, Tay. Not about, like, evidence and stuff. I just mean, talk about how much it sucks or whatever. I'm just saying, talk about anything. Talk about your cats. Talk about your dogs. Look at Pugface. He loves to talk about his dogs. Obviously don't discuss evidence or anything like that on an open stream. But the bottom line is, if you piss off the bondsman, that's it. They can just as easily revoke that bond. So, always take that into consideration. If I've seen some people, they're out on 3 or 4 bonds. I'm amazed they made it to 2 or 3. Hey, Sausage. Sorry about the horrible visual. I'm streaming from my phone, but staring at my laptop screen at the moment. Sleeping on a couch right now, so in case anyone... I get a lot of people keep asking what's going on with me, and... fact is, I lost where I was living because I couldn't afford all the bills there by myself anymore after Mom passed. So, until I come up with first month's rent and security deposit, I'm crashing on a couch right now. I mean, luckily, at least I had a friend that had a couch I could crash on, so... Well, there's some people that, I've been going through this in the comment sections of my auditors detained and arrested compilations over and over and over again. I can't tell you how many times I've cut and pasted the same message, just saying, and what is it? I believe it was Freedom to Film or whatever did a stream about it too the other day. The whole difference between the fake auditors and the real activists. I mean, there's so many people out there that are just doing it for clicks. I come across new channels almost daily. And some of these channels are only like 2 months old and they already got, tens of thousands of subscribers just because they got a whole bunch of police encounters already. And that reflects on all of us, even if we never talk to those people. Never associate with them, even if they're never in our channels. It still reflects on us. And I'm constantly repasting the same message saying they are not us, we are not them. We don't do this just for clicks. Otherwise, we'd all go out and just scream at cops all day. I mean, I know if I got out there and, cursed out cops or whatever over and over again, I'd have tens of thousands of subscribers right now instead of what I have. But I don't do that. I mean, I'm back in the city now. The sirens are going off all the time out here. I mean, I'm happy to be back in the hood. Don't get me wrong, I missed it. But if I really wanted to, I'd drag myself out there and go scream at the cops and get a bunch of subscribers just for yelling at cops. But I don't do that. I know Chi-Town doesn't do that. I know Tay doesn't do that. I mean, I'm so tired of getting thrown in that same category. And of course, the ones that call us sovereigns, man, those are pissing me off bad. I mean, yeah, and you know what kills me even more now is the people that are retracting super chats. Because I had just crossed the $100 barrier that YouTube requires before they'll pay you. And all of a sudden, and I know somebody else is going through the same issue, all of a sudden, $35 disappeared. And I looked, and it was super chats recanted, and I know who did it, but that, stuff like that too, that's just ridiculous. All these people are just messing with us and ruining our names and all this stuff. It's all at once, and it's really annoying. And it's amazing that a lot of us have even still putting up with it, Yeah, yeah, don't get me wrong, the money helps. Auditing is not cheap, it's not free. And even just, those of us that don't audit a lot, we still spend a lot of time helping others, helping people grow their channels. It's not just about the people in the field all the time. There's plenty of people in this channel right now that I see talking that I've seen help many auditors. So it's really frustrating when people do that. I'm telling you guys, for some strange reason, all of a sudden my auditor detained arrested compilations have been getting tons of views over the last week. And hello, Urban, thank you. And almost all of the new subscribers I've gotten from those views, I go and check out when I do actually get a new subscriber notification, which isn't often. But I've been going to the channels and seeing what that person is all about. And in the last week, every single new subscriber whose channel I went and looked at are actually anti-auditor channels. They misunderstood the purpose of my compilations. I did those compilations to show what happens to auditors when their rights are disrespected and violated. Not because I wanted to have compilations making fun of auditors. If that were the case, I would have made it a hell of a lot more comical and all that. I only did it just to show what happened. But I mean, in one of them alone, it's got almost 1,000 comments on it now, and almost all of those comments are negative. I actually started considering taking them down, but the reality is they're still getting views. One of them's gone up by like 6,000 views in the last week. Roadrunner now? No, not really, but I'm dealing. Well, I don't know what happened there, Chi-Town. I don't know. All I could suggest is that I could try to get that fixed for you. Hey, Landley. You mean Liberty Tay? What's he in jail for? Or whose library? Unless you meant Liberty Freak or someone. What's he in jail? What happened to him now? Jeez. Well, you're always working now. What, you 3 jobs plus you're taking care of 2 people? Taking care of 2 people is like 10 jobs in itself. Oh, geez, he got trespassing? I hope he wasn't already out on bond. It's funny, out of the corner of my eye, I keep seeing the phone screen scroll, and it makes me look down at the phone. And I meant what I said about that one post, too, about Chris Powers. I mean, he's been helping out a lot of people lately. I mean, the guy came out of left field, and he's really done a lot to help a lot of us. I know he helped the pen and the sword through me by getting a camera from me for the pen and the sword. So that pen and the sword should have that tomorrow, if not Wednesday. I was an action cam that I had that I wasn't using, but it was a really good quality. I mean, it was a 4K action cam with spare battery and 64 gig card. So Penn will be back out filming again. And I've been talking to my friend that I'm crashing with about going out with me and just basically dropping me off and then staying a distance away because he really doesn't want to get involved. But he said he might be willing to take me and film from a distance. This way, if I get confronted or whatever and it turns out to be bad, he could film it from a distance. Well, good, Midnight. That's a positive thing to hear. Yeah, Roadrunner, I mean, I know what you mean, but I honestly am so sick of seeing and hearing the word tyrant. Like, that word has been murdered. I mean, it has no meaning anymore. Everybody's a freaking tyrant. I know that's not what you mean. But there's so many people that are like, oh, you looked at me funny, you're a tyrant. Oh, you're a secretary that didn't type fast enough. You're a tyrant. I mean, it's like, really? You guys have killed that word. 3 years ago, that word was only used when somebody was really bad. Now it's everybody. You're tyrant. You're tyrant. I mean, come on. The drinking fountain's a freaking tyrant. Welcome back, Chris. I was telling everybody how you've been helping a lot of people, and you just helped get Penn that camera, and yeah, I know, Chi-Town, but it's so annoying. Yeah, Mito, exactly. That word used to only be used when it was really, really bad. Like, a cop laughed in your face, didn't care about your rights, and arrested you. That would be a tyrant. But literally, I see secretaries who don't move fast enough being called tyrants now. That's just ridiculous. When, when P and News Not Houston and CJ and them were dealing with Almost Park, that's when the word tyrant really meant something. Or Batusai, when what he dealt with, that's when it really meant something. Now it's like nothing. Mito, that's just a bad cop. That's what you call him. I mean, I believe there are good cops out there. Even if people think I'm crazy, I believe there are good cops out there. And I believe the good cops should be encouraged. All the time I see, well, a good cop is a bad cop if they don't turn in bad cops. It's not like they're going to run around saying, I blew in that cop. They're not going to say, I went to internal affairs and turned in 5 cops today. Because they're risking their lives, their families' lives, their job, their livelihood. Yeah, exactly, Chi-Town. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if good cops are going to IA to turn in bad cops, they're not going to advertise it. They're not going to run around saying, I turned in the bad cops to turn internal affairs. I mean, honestly, the best cop I ever met was a cop that arrested me. He let me wait freaking 6 weeks to turn myself in so I didn't miss my daughter's birthday. And then he stood up for me in court and told the judge that he would keep an eye on me so that I could be released on my own recognizance because I couldn't afford bond. So, to me, that was a good cop. Or the cop that went and got the lady car seats to keep her kids safe. That was a good cop. Bad cops, the Rodney King incident, that was a bad cop. The cops that arrested Batusai for no reason, those are bad cops. I personally think there's a clear distinction between good and bad cops. Oh yeah, Chi-Town, I know. How many times do we all come running when we see that 911? And then they're like, oh, 911, man, I thought I saw someone getting pulled over. What? I know exactly what you mean, man. And who could forget the dreaded frickin' calling the cops on themselves? Oh my god. Nothing annoys me more. That's what I keep telling people in these comments I reply to. I'm like, not all of us are out there cursing out cops for no reason, just for clicks. I mean, there are times where activists like Slacker is cursed out cops. But that was only after they came up to him and pulled his gun off of him and went through his pockets and all that stuff. And even Slacker has said he wasn't very proud of those moments. But it did happen. But he never just outright cursed out the cops for no reason. Denise Lynn, she never just cursed out cops for no reason. You know, there's a big difference between them and the ones that see a cop who says, "What are you doing?" And, "Oh, you're a tyrant. Why are you bothering me? You shouldn't be asking." Yeah, well, they can ask you whatever they want. Well, I'm just kind of ranting right now, Chris. And I am tired of, what the hell was I going to say now? Ben threw me off with this statement, trying to figure out what the heck he meant by that. Wow, brain fart. You made me lose my train of thought, Ben. Damn it. It took me a second to figure out what the hell you're like. What Discord screenshot? What? Yes, Michigan, exactly. You start, it's not about yelling at cops or cursing at cops. It's about better training for cops, spreading knowledge. That's what I believe. That's how I interpret this movement, as spreading knowledge. When I posted that video the other day that said First Amendment audit, auditing the First Amendment. Hey, Brian, thank you. But I had people, "Oh, that's clickbait." I'm like, no, it's not. I was auditing the First Amendment. I went over the 5 points of the First Amendment and what I believe they meant to this cause. I thought that was pretty damn applicable as a First Amendment audit. My point was to spread knowledge. I love watching the intellectuals that really go off on a cop with smarts, with knowledge of the law. Oh, I know what Ben made me lose my train of thought on. I was talking about the stream hijackers. I don't know about the one that was going to be hijacking Not Now Maybe Later stream. Somebody said the name in the channel. I don't remember. But there's people like freaking... I don't know if people even realize it or not, but that Freedom TV that you see running around saying mirror engaged, all that crap, that's really just Beware Mouse, the convicted child sex offender. So, keep that in mind. I'm sorry, but I hate seeing it. I've never used anybody's stream unless I asked permission first. And even then, I'd still limit my use of that stream. Right, well, Michigan Mister, see, that's why I bring up Fast case a lot. The big reason why he sued was to get policy change. They offered him a big chunk of money, but it didn't include the policy change, so he turned it down. And a lot of people don't believe that he did, but he really did. I remember when he did it, and he was like, "Am I crazy?" But no, he turned it down, and he refused to accept it until that policy change was mandatory as part of the deal. Oh, don't worry, man. I've done mirtazapine texts Like, I take mirtazapine at night for anxiety. Hell, well, Bell, that's your right, but I've never seen you just outright flip out and start cursing and yelling at a cop for no reason. You've only, well, personally, I'm only aware of you even remotely trying to do that when you were disrespected yourself. The whole respectful until disrespected idiom. That applies to you, that applies to Slacker, that applies to a lot of people. And I agree with that. You know, and yeah, and I always say I have no right to tell you if your style is wrong, even if I don't agree with it. I still have no right to tell you how to do it. You have every right to do whatever you want as long as it's legal. Period. And your constitutional right allows you to use that abrasive speech that you want to use. Yeah, exactly, Val. That makes sense. Yeah, well, David, the hard part about that is you're only going to get citable case law if you're taking it through Supreme Court. It's not going to happen in district court. So that's the downfall there. Not everybody can afford to take their case through Supreme Court. Hey, Kim. So at any rate, for anyone that is... Wait. How do you feel about the judge who banned all photography outside the courthouse? Do you mean outside the courtroom or outside the courthouse? Because as long as you're on a traditional public forum, they cannot stop you from photography. If you're on a traditional public forum, they can't block you from filming the courthouse, which is like a public sidewalk. You are guaranteed your constitutional rights on a traditional public forum. They cannot stop you from that. If they do, you can sue the shit out of them, and you'll win. Yeah, Landley, exactly. You know, it happens. Well, as long as you are on a traditional public forum or public property that you have not been trespassed from, you can record anything you can see or hear. That is guaranteed under the First Amendment and under existing Supreme Court case law. They cannot just say, hey, you cannot stand on the sidewalk and film this building. If you do, you'll get arrested. If they arrest you for that, that's it. You could just sue the hell out of them. Because they cannot do that. There's a whole reason why things are considered traditional public forums. It's traditional because there have been public forums since the inception of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. That is why they're called traditional. But they are public forums. A public sidewalk is a traditional public forum. I hope that somebody does end up challenging that and has it nullified, because something like that is just ridiculous. I mean, come on, you can't film my building from outside on the sidewalk. That goes against everything the First Amendment stands for. Well, yeah, Brian Johnson, the catch-22 there is if they are a Supreme Court judge and it is a Supreme Court ruling, then it becomes Supreme Court case law. So therein lies the dilemma. But it contradicts existing case law. So that's where the confusion comes into play. You got one Supreme Court ruling contradicting another Supreme Court ruling. So then it becomes a decision of the Supreme Court. Which one is right, which one is nullified. I highly doubt they will ever make it an official Supreme Court case law, that you cannot film a courthouse from a traditional public forum. I can't see that happening. We're not North Korea. Yeah, well, then when you take it'll just go up to a higher level of Supreme Court until you get to the highest level, like, the ultimate end all of Supreme Court. When it gets to that level, that's when the final ruling will matter the most. But it has to get there first, like Lanley and several other people have said. It's going to take somebody getting arrested and fighting it in order to get rid of it, or to be ruled in favor of it. I mean, I can't imagine that ever happening, but I guess the possibility exists that it could. Yeah, there's the catcher, Lanley. It costs a lot of money. When you get to the Supreme Court level, you're not going to go in there pro se on something like that. Not unless you're already a lawyer. Yeah, Michigan Mister, that's the problem. They don't care. I can't tell you how many times I've called major media news about stuff that has happened, and they do not care at all. See, Bell, everything that you said is exactly the kind of information that new auditors need to live by. Auditors that really care, not the ones that just hear for clicks. You explained very well the fact that you understand the risk you're taking in your choice of response. You understand that should it end up at a court level, that type of response could not, it can make it not go in your favor. But you fully understand that. I mean, I have seen so many fly-by-night auditors. I can't tell you how many times I've seen auditors get to 5,000 or 6,000 subscribers and they just drop off. It was like, you guys knew the risks going in. Yeah, well, see, Brian, that's the problem, though. I mean, going pro se, which is self defense, when you're at a Supreme Court level, you know, unless you're already a lawyer or, a last year law student, whatever, you know, chances are you're going to lose doing something like that just because they're not even going to take you seriously. So that's why I say, I mean, you go at Supreme Court level, you're going to have to get a lawyer. David, no, see it doesn't work that way. You have to understand, we are not a structured entity. We are not a group with a charter or a code of conduct or anything like that. There is no central pool of money that everybody donates to help cover people. Yeah, I know, Belle. I'm just saying, it just amazes me how many I've seen that happen to. Nobody knows more than me about dealing with that kind of shit. I mean, they've been coming after me for over a year, so, and it was nonstop, like nonstop. Got me demonetized. I had to fight for that. They got my PayPal shut down. They were calling my PO. I mean, yeah, I know how bad it can get. Well, Brian Johnson, to my understanding, pro se, you know, you're defending yourself in court. Jeez, another person goes live on it. Yeah, no, I know. I've come close quite a few times myself, and I had long talks with people like Tay and Lan Lee and others about it because it gets bad. It is, David. There's no way it can happen. There will never be a way for that to happen. There are far too many people that intentionally. I know how much some make, dude. I talk to all of them. I'm well aware. But the point is, there are so many people that get themselves intentionally arrested, or they just do really stupid things they know they shouldn't be doing and get arrested. And, you know, they're going to take that money and use it for bond or use it for lawyers or whatever, and they may very well have deserved that charge. Yep, Bill, you're exactly right. I went through it. Like I said, they were calling my probation officer trying to get me sent back to jail. They were trying to attack my mom, my freaking disabled mother who lost her leg that I was taking care of, and they went after her. So, yeah, I know. I know it all too well. Okay, well, since everybody else is going live, it's kind of pointless to do this, especially since I'm limited to just a phone. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this going, but if anybody does want to help out, there's the if you look in the description of the last stream or whatever is my GoFundMe or a super chat, either or. I literally am couch surfing right now until I come up with money to live, until I can get my disability going. So yeah, you're right, Belle. Most of us don't. I mean, I'm lucky to get a payment from YouTube every 2 or 3 months for that whopping $100. I was supposed to get it the last pay period, but a certain person has been recanting their super chats. And they do it to not just to me, they've done it to several. So, the same person. So, well, I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out or whatever. I'm sorry about the crappy stream and the crappy camera angle and whatnot. But unfortunately, I had to deal with just the phone for now. So, but, it's always fun. Well, thank you, media. Thank you, Belle, for swinging in. And, just is what it is, guys. So, we all deal with it the best way we can. Hey, Chris, well, geez, now you freaking talk? Chris H, I don't know, email me, man. I don't know. I was going to say text me, but I forgot you're in England. Or in Europe, at least. So, toss me an email. Let me know how things are going, man. Otherwise, I'll talk to everybody later. I'm going to try to get this whole stream set up and working right. So, I don't know if I'll go live again on the phone or not. I guess we'll see. So, I'll talk to everybody later.